Okay. Welcome back. We got a gold key last time, which is a first for us, I think. Only ever gotten silver keys up to this point. Sell to play. The late sky was electric. No, not the sky. The air. Boogie, woogie, woogie, woogie. There was an energy emanating from the air, or at least I felt like there was. It was a familiar, comforting feeling. Oddly comforting. I mean, on the surface it shouldn't feel safe. It should actually feel dangerous. I mean, this was the energy in the air I felt when a con was in full swing. When I was going to put moves in motion. Almost by definition, that meant I was assuming risk. I wasn't actually safe at all. But the actual matter of fact as to whether or not I was safe wasn't the point. The reason I got this feeling in the air was the familiarity of it all. And the excitement. Frankly speaking, I got an adrenaline rush from all this. Telling blatant lies, coming up with new ones on the spot, pushing opponents to the edge, always being one step from the brink yourself. I had to be careful with this way of thinking. At times it felt like I was dangerously close to becoming some sort of adrenaline junkie. It was important to remember the thrill of it wasn't why I did it. It was perhaps fourth on my list of motivations. Still, it was empowering. I needed empowerment at times like this, at times when I was willingly charging headfirst into the lion's den. I got up from my seat on the bench. Alright, time to start this. Began leaving Panthea's Central Park, making my way over to the nearby governor's office. I lugged a small bag for my laptop with me. This was a tricky point I was about to reach. Honestly, when I came to Panthea, I never thought I'd have to make moves like this. But, well, you play with the cards you're dealt. At this point, I was close. I almost had enough pieces. But I was still missing some information. I was still missing some opportunity. Before I could start knocking over some serious domino pieces, I need a bit more wiggle room to work with. Which brought me to tonight's mission. Maybe I'd just be shot, straight up. That seemed unlikely for a number of reasons. Anyways, I had some backup plans for such an eventuality. Always have a backup plan. That was a mantra I had been sticking to less as of late. I had, frankly, got myself into some situations that were far too close for comfort. But none of that mattered now. Right now I had the tempo. I'd use it. I walked across the street to where the governor's building was. I had given some thought about how to approach this night. Rather, who should approach this night? Alternate identities were almost certainly the greatest weapon I had under my belt. I utilized multiple personas to great effect back in Aria. Using them basically turns a one-man army into a small armada, in some senses. I mean, it was a difficult balance to juggle, no doubt. But the results spoke for themselves. I had used them to similar effects so far here in Panthea. I had found it was a lot easier to create false personas online. Still, I was no slouch with disguises and voices in the real world. Which meant as I came to meet with Aija, I gave some serious consideration about who to be for this. However, the more I thought about it, the more certain I became. This was a job for the slimy con man Locke, no question. There was the disadvantage that a lot of people knew me by this look, this name. But was that really a disadvantage? I didn't think so. In fact, I thought that might be an advantage in disguise. I could use that. My looking to the past was interrupted as I began to actually enter the governor's office. Or at least my attempt to. See, it turns out that at late hours like this, it's not actually open to the public. And I counted on that to some extent. What I didn't think about ahead of time was how to actually get in. Which, okay. Maybe that's a big thing to not figure out beforehand. Sue me. Still, I doubted that it would be that big a deal. I went up to the glass double doors and started banging on them. Uh... I would shout, but I was pretty sure that wouldn't do much. I saw Secretary Ganny sitting inside. He saw me knocking on the door. However, at first he just looked at me in disgust. But I kept knocking. Eventually I saw a relenting look cross his face. He reached down to press something. Then I heard a clicking sound. Does that mean the doors were unlocked now? I tried to test the theory by pushing on them. Sure enough, they opened. Sick. Sometimes just blindly trying to barge in actually works. Who knew? Walked in the lobby and up to the front desk. As I approached, the look of annoyance on Secretary Ganny's face became more and more clear. Hey, look, man. I don't know what your angle is, but you can't be here. It's after hours. That means no visitors. Oh, really? Sorry, I didn't know about that. Why is that, if you don't mind me asking? Why are there after hours? Why is there after hours? No, why can't I be here? I don't know, man. Security issues? We don't like complete strangers wandering around. Oh, I get you. Security must be a big thing with these enforced doors back there and everything. Exactly. Though you let me in just for knocking on the door without much second thought. Does that make you pretty bad at your job? Ganny blew a fuse. Oh man, I shouldn't be needling him like this. I just couldn't help it. Look, man, just get out of here, okay? I'm already in a bad mood. Not supposed to be stuck at this job. The guy who's supposed to be here suddenly got real sick. Oh man, that sucks. Never feels good taking night shifts you're not supposed to. No kidding. Anyways, you gotta go. Look, be out of your hair real quick. I just need to meet with Governor Aija. She's still here, right? Buddy, a lot of people want to meet with the governor. Usually, they make appointments. You want to make an appointment? Look, this is urgent. Governor really needs to hear what I have to say. Shoot her an email. No, it has to be in person. Well, it's a shame for you, isn't it? It's the matter where her whole candidacy is at stake. You have to let me see her. I'm saying this for your sake. If you don't, she finds out you didn't let me in, you're going to be in hot water. How scary. But I'll take my chances. God. This guy really was a jackass, huh? Fine then. I'd play things his way. Look, man, couldn't you just ask Aija if it was alright? I could. Would you for 20 bucks? No way. Now, 50 bucks, then maybe we could start talking. 25. 40. 30. 35. 30. Okay, fine. Alright. What's your email? Huh? What's that got to do with anything? PayPal. I don't have cash just lying around on me. You got Pluto, right? Right. Don't do it like that. A bit of grumbling, Gandy accepted. Gave me his email and I sent him the cash. After he confirmed he received it, he reached out to the phone on the desk. Hey, Aija. Someone's here to see you. No, not him. Some random person. He says... Yes, I know that it's not policy to let them in. Yes, I'm sorry. Look, this guy really wants to talk to you. So it's a matter of the whole election. I mean, he looks a little shady, but not dangerous or anything. Just don't see why you wouldn't hear him out, just in case. Alright. Alright. Puts the phone down. Wait 1 second. Secretary Ganny then reached down and opened one of the lower drawers on his cabinet. Couldn't quite tell what was going on. Why was he pulling around there? It was unclear to me. Whatever. I waited as I was told. A few seconds, he straightened himself back up. Alright. Aija's office is down to the left, past the paintings, door with her name on it. You don't have a lot of time to see her. That's starting now, so hurry over to that room. Thanks, man. Secretary Ganny just shrugged. Dick. He was almost certainly embroiled in Aija's dirty schemes. To what extent, I wasn't sure. But he was definitely dirty, too. Ah, well. Bigger fish to fry. I walked down the hallway that Ganny had pointed out. As he mentioned, there were some tacky-looking paintings on the side. Then further down the hall, I saw the door I was looking for. I had the identifying plate and everything. Cool. I hesitated a bit as my hand reached for the doorknob. Pre-game jitters. Could never fully get rid of them, but those jitters were energy. Use it. Direct it. With a sense of purpose, I turned the door handle and made my way into the office. Very quickly, it struck me as very Aija. And only because of the giant painting of Aija hanging up on the back wall. Although, holy shit. Really? The image of Aija sitting right in front of the larger-than-life painting of herself was, palpable, to say the least. Anyways, that was far from the only thing that stuck out to me. Walls were littered with Aija's own achievements. The closet wall held a bookshelf that put across a false look of intellectualism. This whole office, it read more as a stage than an actual place somebody would work. But whatever. Just confirmed what I already knew. Noticed that the lamp on Aija's desk was lit. Seeing that, I turned over and flicked off the light switch. Excuse me. What are you doing? Just setting the lighting more to my tastes. It's late, Miss Governor. Having the lights fully on won't work. Gotta be cool and edgy, better to dim them. Still, just flipping the light switch like that is rather rude. And also it makes it harder to see you. Well, that's fine. You don't need to see me that clearly. What an ominous introduction you have here. I must say, sir, this is a pretty bad foot to start on. You know, I'd feel bad if it weren't for the fact that I'm pretty sure I already blew my first impression. I mean, barged in this late at night? That was already a bad foot to start on. You're not wrong. Still, you can turn that around at any point. And trust me, I will. But if I'm already on the wrong foot, I might use that for a bit. That is an interesting way of thinking about things. A fun way, I like to think. Began to walk around the room, performatively. Took big swings with my head, to emanate looking around speculatively. My oh my. So this is a governor's office. Swanky place you have here. It's got a real gubernatorial air. Is that the right word? It is. And thank you. I continued my walk over to the bookshelf. Man, I'm kind of envious. My place ain't half as pretty looking as this here office. Really, you've built something special. Casually, I picked up a book from the mini library behind me and opened it. Gee, never would imagine I'd step foot in a high-class place like this. What are you doing? Huh? Why did you just pick up a random book and open it? Oh? I don't know, I guess for a dramatic effect or something? It looks stupid. Put that back. Oh. Sorry. I placed the book back on the shelf. Man, I didn't think Aija would be so mean so quick like that. I only barged into her office, turned the lights off, and started pacing around like a dramatic fool. Oh well. I had gotten what I wanted from that interaction. And for that matter, correct your posture. You slouch more than anybody I've met. I did, Aija. Smart of you to pick up on that. I decided just to lean against the bookcase for the rest of the conversation. You're hurting my feelings here, Miss Governor. Show me some mercy. Apologies. seem to have caught me in a bitter mood. Oh, really? Sorry to hear that. What's wrong? Just a lot. If you're going to continue the conversation, would you mind if I got your name? Sure thing. The name's Locke. Pleasure to be of service to you. Instead of a look of surprise, a small smile came across Aija's lips. Ah, sharp this one. I thought I recognized you. Oh, you recognize little old me. How flattering. What can I say? If you're the campaign manager of my electoral opponent, I make it my mission to know you. Not right. Honestly, I didn't think you'd know about me like that. You are hard to find information about, Locke, I'll give you that. I've got a very thorough campaign team of my own. I'm just making conversation, but this was actually a point that had been turning around in my mind for a while. As many pieces as I might have collected about this city, one of the blind spots of mine is Aija's knowledge of my help in Bach's campaign. At this point, it makes some sense. I've been acting in a more official capacity in a lot of ways, doing some campaigny things. What's weird was the assassination attempt back the same night I failed to swindle Polly. I mean, thinking about things, Aija's mystery man must have been stationed there before the con began. At that point, I hadn't done much of anything for Bach's campaign. So how did she know to come after me? Pretty much nobody knew about my agreement with Bach. Best answer I could come up with was Osa. He saw a lot of my first interaction with Bach. Even though a lot of the important points he missed, it's theoretically possible that he could have put the pieces together himself and come to the conclusion before then. The question then is how that information got from Osa to Aija. I mean, being an underground casino in Nahoi's Nest and by proxy Osa probably held some deference to the duots. I didn't yet know the extent of that. So then did this information flow to the duots, then to Aija? Was possible. But that suggested that Aija and the duots were a lot closer than I gave them credit for. Anyway, I put it together. Things felt weird. Whatever. I'd think about it later. Hey, look, I just have to say it. I respect the work you guys have been putting in. I think you've been doing a great job. I mean, not just in the campaign. As a politician, I did think I don't really have any complaints against you. A little moderate for my tastes, perhaps. A few weird decisions here and there, but really a solid resume at all in all. Why, thank you. It is quite a generous thing to say. Although it does raise a question. That being? If you are such a fan, why exactly are you supporting my political rival? Oh, that? Well, everybody has their own angle. I'm sure you can understand. Plus, I might not have beef with you, but I still think Bach's better overall. Between the two of you, I prefer him. Really? I know an election between who's better instead of who's less worse? In this day and age? Crazy. I mean, you really think Bach would be a better politician? Someone with no prior experience in government? Middling education, unclear policy plans? I shrugged. Maybe. No maybes about it. If Bach got into power, Panthea would chew him up and spit him out. That or it'd swallow him whole. Maybe. Maybe. That's a pretty important point, Locke. One I think deserves a lot more consideration than a maybe. Maybe. Now you're just pissing me off. Aija was not amused. Oh, lighten up. Where's your sense of humor? Oh wait, don't tell me. You left it with your pride and your conscience a few years into office, am I right? Locke, what exactly do you want? Please do not tell me you popped in for a social meeting. I have a point. I'm getting there. Before that, I have to ask. Do you really think you're going to win this election? This, of all things, induced an actual chuckle from Aija, however brief it might have been. Are you serious? Is that a real question? Of course. Then are we looking at the same polling results? And I know being a campaign manager is probably a new racket to you, but anybody with eyes should see the signs. It's not going to be close. So that's your opinion. Huh. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. Honestly, this meeting is giving your campaign more legitimacy than it's worth. Harsh, Aija. But fair, maybe. As it stands, the election is favored for you. Perhaps not to the extent you think it is, but still. You're winning. Though the heat of the election has brought out all sorts of rumors. Indeed it has. Ridiculous, the lot of them. Some border on slander. Slander only refers to spoken statements. The rumors you're referring to would be libel. Huh? What? People spread rumors by speaking, Locke. That is slander. Oh, that's how you get your rumors. How old-fashioned. The internet's a wonderful place, Aija. Is there a point to this little diversion? Not particularly. Anyway, these rumors. So wild. So ridiculous. They say the darndest things. I mean, I heard this one the other day. That you've been embezzling money from the government for years and you keep an unfathomable amount of that dirty cash hidden somewhere in this very office, just in case things go south. Yes, that is a perfect example of a ridiculous rumor. Aija would be great at poker. Her face was perfectly controlled. Probably got it from all those years as a politician. Unfortunately for her, she was dealing with a professional. You couldn't fool these eyes. Well, you actually could, but she didn't this time. Her reaction, as strange as it might have been, told me everything I needed to know. Which meant it was time to start circling in for the kill. I'm going to be honest with you, Locke. My patience is getting awfully thin. Especially as you start talking about complete wastes of time. Like these ridiculous rumors. Entertaining the notion that Bach and I are anything on that resembles the same playing field. Looks like Aija wanted to get to the point as well. Alright then. I wouldn't deny her. I stood up straighter. You want to talk shop? Alright. Let's talk shop. Think you're a person I can talk shop with. I don't know what shop there is to talk. However, with you... If it means ending this sooner, then yes, let's just be straight with it. I'm sure you've done your research into me, Ms. Governor. I'm sure none of what I'm about to say to you is going to be surprising. I just want to make sure you understand where I'm coming from. The fact of the matter is, I don't really give a shit about who's Panthea's governor. I mean, I got preferences, sure. I'm only human. And I'm not staying in this city for long. If the whole place burned down the moment I left, I wouldn't really care all that much, just being honest. How blunt? You think that's blunt? I'm just getting started. I became Bach's campaign manager through trickery. That's the only way someone like me could become one, don't you think? The reason I really want Bach to become governor is because I have ideas on how to profit from his victory. That's just a means to an end. All I care about is getting cash. Not just getting paid. I want money. An obscene amount. Enough to live off of for the rest of my life. Am I clear? Painfully so. Give you this, you're certainly shameless. Correct. Shameless doesn't even begin to cover it. My point in saying all this is that even though I'd like for Bach to win, I'm fine if you win, so long as I still get paid the big bucks. Alright, I think I get it. Aija cut in, a self-assured look on her face. I see where this is going. You are about to offer to throw the election, right? You think you can squeeze me some change by flipping sides? Is that it? How dumb do you think I am? You and I are perfectly aware that you have no ground to stand on, much as you like to pretend. So before you can even ask it, no. Your request is denied. Now get out before you embarrass yourself any further. For a moment, I didn't say anything. Then I began to laugh. I couldn't help myself. It started out slight, then grew in intensity. Before I knew it, I was almost keeling over from laughter. All the while, Aija watched with a disturbed concern. Soon enough, I reeled myself back in. I pulled myself together. Oh, Aija. Wiped a tear from my eye. You have gravely misunderstood what is going on here. Ms. Governor, your reading of the situation couldn't be worse. You're trying to call the bluff of somebody sitting on a straight flush. I don't believe you. If what you want, I'll get... Oh, before I could finish my statement, I broke out into a heavy cough fit. Arg. My throat was killing me. A burst of laughter that might have pushed it over. Really needed water. I didn't have any, and this meeting was already in full swing. Just have to push through at this point. Are you okay? I'm fine. My throat is a bit sore. It's been doing a lot of talking lately, that's all. Nothing to worry about. Now then, where were we? You were blustering on about me being wrong. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Began reaching in my pocket. Just so you know, Locke, I don't take the way you've been talking lightly. I was willing to wipe away this whole thing just moments ago. But if things continue like this, I'll have to... Found it! Put out the photo I was looking for. Then I walked forward and slammed it right on Aija's desk. Aija took a second to look at it. Then she reached forward and grabbed it, a desperate look coming across her face. Now it started. Time to slowly increase the pressure. Cook Aija to a boiling point. Interesting picture, right? How did you get your hands on this? The picture desperately clutched in Aija's hands was pretty simple. On a dark night, Aija was seen talking in private with a shady man in a green hoodie. Innocuous on its own, but Aija knew what it meant. Before you get any funny ideas, I have copies, obviously. You the one who vandalized my home. Harassed me. Harassment? Vandalism? What's all this about? I've just sent that photo by a fan of Bach's. No idea how it is taken. You little... Hey now, we're getting awfully worked up now. Just wanted to know how you know this guy. What's your connection? Is he your brother? Good friend? Did you know him? Did you not know him? Was he harassing you? That seems unlikely. You two seem pretty close in this photograph. But maybe he's employed on your campaign staff. Playing the silence card, huh? Pleading the fifth, as it were. I get it. He your secret lover? New person you're fucking? Finally moved on from your husband? Fuck you. Whoa, hey, don't need to get hostile. You were going a bit too far there. I'm just trying to get the facts here. Get out. Get out of my office. Whoa, take it easy now. I hope I haven't offended you at all. But I really don't think you want me to leave. That'd be bad for us both. This is nothing. This photograph, it's worthless. That's why you're gripping it so tightly. You're right, though. You're right. That photograph, total garbage. Luckily, I've got another pretty sweet pic to show you. Pull the second photograph I had stored in my pocket out. Again, I placed it on Aija's desk. And again, Aija gripped it. This time, when she looked at it, her eyes flashed with pure horror. She knew exactly what this meant. Not the best shot composition, but hey, you get what you pay for, I suppose. How was this possible? Don't ask me. Honestly speaking, when this photograph fell into my lap, I was feeling pretty damn lucky. I mean, 2 shots of this mystery man? What are the odds, you know? Oh, back to silence, are you? That's no fun. I had a bunch of questions I wanted to ask you. Like that. See that right there? Can you tell me what's in his hand? Yeah, it's weird. To me, it's kind of looks a bit like a weapon. Don't you think? And then, there, in the background. What's in the background? Well, where's that photo taken, do you think? That background looks kind of familiar, you know? Well, maybe you've never been there. But I certainly have. And you know, that background looks awfully familiar. It kind of looks exactly like the location of a pretty violent crime occurred recently, wouldn't you say? Ah. So wait. You got this guy who's shown holding a dangerous weapon. And he was shown to be at the scene where a dangerous crime involving the weapon took place. Huh. Well, how about that, huh? Oh, and he's also seen meeting with you. Gotta say, Miss Governor, this isn't a great look. As a campaign manager, I would urge you to get ahead of this story. This is the sort of thing that enemies could use against you. What do you want? Finally ready to play ball, Aija? Huh? What don't you understand? Sorry, I didn't hear what you asked. Bullshit, you heard me. Really didn't. What do you want, Locke? What do I want? I want a lot of things, Miss Governor. I want world peace. I want a loving girlfriend or a boyfriend. I'm not picky. I want to get that one damn Tele song out of my head. I mean, I swear, it's like on loop or something. Lock! Aija was losing it. This was the state I needed her in. So long as I kept her like this, things would work perfectly well. Let's put things a different way. What do you want, Miss Governor? You know what? I bet I could guess. But you want me to just drop dead right here and now? Sorry, not happening. Wouldn't actually help. Well, that I bet you want to keep your position as governor. Want to keep working in this nice office of yours. Probably definitely don't want the media looking into this set of pictures. I mean, they're nothing on their own. I can see it. Come on, it's a bad look. Definitely ruins your ability to meet up with this guy anymore. Probably gets Bach in the serious conversation. And you know, through it all, I bet you also wouldn't want to give up your money. It just seems unfair, unwarranted, and downright uncool. You like money. Money buys you stuff. So I'm certain you don't want to have to part with any of it. But, if I had to guess what you don't want the most, I think I'd have decent odds of getting it right. Just between you and me. So that's all it comes down to, you scum. An ugly attempt to get your bits and some cash. That's what this is. That's all. That's all. What bubble are you living in, Miss Governor? Newsflash, the world runs on money. Prisoners walk free for money. Countries go to war for money. Nations crumble for money. People will lie, cheat, steal, and kill for money. Thought you'd know that more than anyone. You little. And while on the subject, everybody always criticizes the desire for money as greedy. That people don't doing crazy things for it is desperate and small-minded. I've always found that an unbelievably privileged view. I mean, if you already have money? Yeah, getting a bunch more money usually won't make your life better at all. But if you don't have money, food, shelter, health, every goddamn thing that matters in this country is either restricted or in jeopardy. It's not shallow or materialistic to care an obsessive amount about money for some people. It's entirely rational. You know, I'd like to ask people what amount of money would have to be offered for them to take one shot at their own head in a game of Russian roulette. You won't believe the amount of people with the gall to say no price. The amount of people who would say that nobody should agree to something like that, no matter the context. What an utter lack of perspective. Tell it to the person who just got their family evicted. I mean, are you saying that you wouldn't risk your life to be able to get $1 billion at the very least, willing to give all that money to charity and save who knows how many lives? Total hypocrisy. What are you going on about? What the hell does any of that have to do with anything? You know, you actually bring up a good point. I sort of went on a personal tangent there. All that doesn't have much to do with the situation. I already have enough money. I'm making more by extortion. Instead of being a meaningful member of society. Then again, the person I'm taking it from is a heartless empress with unknown millions smuggled away to her personal savings. Unknown millions. Huh. Where are you getting these figures? Here and there. But you raise a fair enough point. It's completely possible that the rumors are not true. That you don't have a secret stash stored away here somewhere. But for your sake, I hope you do. That's really the only way you're going to be able to destroy these photos. What are you suggesting? What are your terms? Thanks for asking! I fished into my pockets again. This time I brought out a note. I placed it right in front of her on her desk. That's everything you need to know. The amount you need to bring. The date. The time. The location. I tried to be hospitable to you. You're welcome. I'll be meeting you there myself. I'll come dressed in a gray hoodie, maybe a face mask. It's just a little inside joke between the two of us, you know? Like your guy wore when he almost killed me. Do you want me to apologize? No need. Besides, I've really no desire for a false apology. And right now, can't imagine that anything you'd say kind toward me would be genuine. Well, you've gotten one thing right. I've gotten several things right, I believe. That's why we're in this situation. Anyway, I believe I've made the terms clear. Then I think our meeting tonight is over. I begin to move from the room. However, Aija didn't want the conversation to be over quite yet. Hold on. I paused briefly. Yeah? How can I trust you? If I do what I ask, what you ask, these photos will disappear. That's a good question. I guess you can. You. But just remember this. I'm a snake. I'm only looking out for myself in all this. I'm also pretty realistic in my expectations. I mean, relatively speaking. I still want a shitload of money, as is clear. Things like power, fame, legacy. I could take or leave all that shit. I don't think it's pretty hollow to me. Though to each their own. I also don't need an infinite supply of money forever. Read the studies about how more money doesn't really improve your life at a certain point. I have two priorities, getting a lot of money and staying alive. With the capital you're going to give me, I can live more than comfortably for the rest of my life. I can invest that treasure trove in safe stock portfolios and let the money make itself. I know if I poke the bear any further than what I've already done, I'm likely to get my arm chopped off. So tell me, what possible gain could I get out of showing those photos after you pay me off? It's not proof you still won't do it. Again, you're right. It's impossible for you to present that proof. You know that as well as me. So I guess you're gonna have to take a risk. If you think the chances I'd expose myself to your wrath outweighs the value of the crash I'm asking for, then take your lumps at the start and start working on a way to get ahead of the photos. But I think we both know that you're not quite willing to lose the ivory throne you've killed so many to sit upon. You should know that really. Your only out here is to pay me and hope that I hold up my end of the bargain. But like I said, weigh the odds and make your own decisions. I can only tell you the truth so many times. And now I could walk out of the room safely. I walked back through the hallway and eventually past Secretary Gandy's desk. Thanks for letting me in. It was productive. The Governor and Aija had just the best chat. Don't care. Secretary Gandy had resumed looking at his phone, utterly checked out. And how did a guy like that climb Aija's ranks so high? Actually, it's probably because he had climbed so high that he got away acting like this. Still, it was bad practice for him. He should really care quite a bit more about the events happening around him. Who knows when those events would become extremely relevant to him? Whatever. Continuing my exit, walking out of the building. Just like that, I was free. In and out without major incident. Good. That's good. I was safe now. Relatively, at least. I thought that went well. For my purposes, at least. Still, the night wasn't quite done yet. Oh no. I still had something I wanted to do. In fact, I wanted to do it right after that. And so I made my way open to a diner that was open 24 hours a day. Pretty much nobody was inside. That's great. Really, I shouldn't do this in a public place. But I couldn't be fucked. Nobody here knew anything. Nobody'd look here for anything. It'd probably be fine. Probably. I ordered a drink and took a seat at a table in the back. Wall directly behind me. Then I took out my laptop from my bag. Let's see here. Ah, damn it. Connection issues. What's the problem now? Let me see here what I can do. What? Oh, god damn it. Hack your own laptop. Go. Okay, I think this came together nicely enough. This is looking promising. Aha. Connected. Live and running. Like fish in a barrel. Aija was sloppy. She mirrored a paranoid ruler, what with hiring assassins and whatnot. If she really was a cut above, little tricks like this wouldn't get me so much ground. Anyways, I should just appreciate gifts like this as they come. Of course, given access to the governor's office, I wasn't just going to come in and chat. You put something in that book, didn't you? The way I worked was as an all-encompassing swarm. Having a single plan, a single line of play, a single interaction, that was a recipe for disaster. So opening yourself up to have the entire thing explode in your face. You throw 100 punches, lay a dozen traps, and hire 3 hitmen just in case. When I was picking up that book, it wasn't just for dramatic effect. It was creating an opportunity to slip a hidden camera in that highly secretive office. Now I could hear directly from the horse's mouth. So then, why don't we just have a little look-see and see how Aija's been taking the news? It should be fun. Put in some headphones, open up the feed, and look towards for the show to begin. So with the feed, it seemed as though Aija was pacing around as a nervous wreck. Seemed like I had done some serious damage. I don't know, okay? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I get it. Still, what the hell? How could that moron let this happen? Huh. I heard a somewhat unexpected voice coming from the room. If I was not mistaken, I clocked that as the voice of the Chief of Police, Ariane. At first I was confused. Where was she? The camera angle was very bad, but the office wasn't particularly big. Was she right out of frame? However, as the conversation proceeded, I quickly caught on that Aija actually had Ariane on speakerphone. I don't know. I know that it is absolutely outrageous. It's unacceptable. I mean, screwing up the job. Whatever. Expected circumstances. Things go awry. I get it. But this shows a complete lack of competence. Just stunningly stupid. Exactly. Oh. Aija collapsed onto her desk. I'm just fucked, huh? You are jumping to conclusions. I'm fucked. Explain to me how I'm not fucked. I agree in most cases this would be fatal, but our intel peg's Locke is how you described him. Entirely self-interested. He gets a big payday, he'll just go away. You're serious right now, Ariane. He's a complete opportunist. He sees the weakness, he's going to milk it for all it's worth. Not if he's smart. If he is smart, he'll get out when he's ahead. He's not smart. He's an idiot, a dangerous idiot. Or made a thorn in my side. That, or as he's leaving, he'll still publish the photos as a parting middle finger. I just stood back up and began walking over to the oversized portrait of her. Maybe the only way to save face is to just give him the money and hope for the best. She gripped the portrait's frame. Can you afford it? He's demanding. Yeah. I mean, it'll hurt. It'll hurt a lot. But it's definitely well within my personal budget. So do I just pay him off and pray? Is that the play? I don't know. It's tough to say. Real fucking helpful. Easy, Aija. No, this is stressful, but don't start lashing out at me. I'm just trying to help. You're right. I'm sorry. This just fucking sucks. Indeed. This is the risk, I guess. The risk? Wrestle with dogs, you catch fleas. Or however the saying goes. Are you saying this is my fault? I think it is clear whose fault this is. I'm just saying, ever since you decided how you were going to actually act as governor, you opened yourself up to situations like that. It is just something you have to deal with. Again, Aija seemed to collapse. Really losing myself here. Hey, do you think I should try getting in contact with the Jinn? No? They might have insight on how to deal with this. Are you serious? You really are thinking about trusting the Jinn with this? The Jinn? The fuck's a Jinn? In desperate times, right? The Jinn is on our side. They seem to know stuff. It's the perfect time to try and use them. Seriously. It becomes clear to me that the Jinn were not really on our side ever since the Maximilian Collins case. Oh? I mean, hijacking the Cock Robin killings like that. Oh. I feel like this answers the question that we posed in Laverna's story. We don't know the Jinn did that. Who else, Aija? Who else could have known? Well, whatever. After everything the Jinn's done over the years, suddenly he throws a wrench in our plan without telling us one time, and we can't trust him. I've been saying we cannot trust him since the start. Anyone who sends one-sided contact with you from an anonymous source and with a suspicious title is not someone we can trust. Frankly, I've been against him for a long time now. What's to be against? Sure, the whole anonymous angle is sketchy, but the Jinn has been nothing but supportive of my political career since the very beginning. They have consistently provided us with information that has kept us alive. In my case, literally. That attempt was dead in the water from the beginning. Oh, I disagree. The Jinn has supported us in extremely helpful ways for years, never asking for anything in return, always being on point. I have never questioned why they would do any of this. Of course I have. You've heard me question this many times. But even though the motivation of this is a mystery, it seems very clear to me that it stems from a place of being on our side. It is too convenient. At this point, the Jinn might have given you a ton of information, but they also have mountains of evidence against you. If you're talking about liabilities, I would say the Jinn is a bigger risk than anything else. This was extremely important info I had stolen. These words I overheard were worth their weight in gold. Forget that words are weightless. The Jinn. Was this the bit I was missing? Another player in all this. An existing player, but an unfamiliar name. Someone had been supplying Aija with useful information, whatever that meant. The most curious part of it all was, as Ariane pointed out, the why. The Jinn could have told them about Locke being, Bach's campaign manager. Why protect her like this? I'd get it if it was an extortion racket. But that's me. I mean, duh. Obviously I'd get an extortion motivation. But no, apparently no payments had been made. Seemingly there had been no direct demands or threats made yet. None had come after this many years, that either someone was really playing the long game, or this wasn't the angle. So then why the support? Why do it with this weird method? Does somebody benefit from keeping Aija in that position? That dramatic music change? Or I often fell into the trap of assuming everyone else operated on cost-benefit analysis principles. Was there perhaps a different motivation at play that I wasn't seeing? As interesting as all this was, I was missing important conversation. I tuned back in. We can handle things ourselves. Okay then. How should we handle things? It seems clear to me. How do we usually handle conflict? Locke seems like a pretty guilt-free target. Huh. You have a date, a time, and a location. A physical description. Things don't often get this easy. But he knows about our main weapon. You don't think he's going to maybe factor that in? There are other options. We just get creative. So that's how it is. I finally landed on this option. Going to whack me instead of handing me a briefcase full of cash. Damn. That's a shame. I would have quite liked that money. Getting that briefcase was always something of a pipe dream. Never really expected it to happen. It's never the point anyways. Being a mere briefcase of cash. What those sights do you think I have, Aija? My plan was a lot bigger than that. No, the point of my little meeting was always to start threatening Aija from various angles. Force her to show her hand. By exposing her, making her make suboptimal moves, plenty more opportunities were opening up for me. So you wanted to kill me, huh? I could work with that. After all, it's not like Aija was the only one I needed to start putting on tilt. If I was clever, I could start applying pressure in a whole number of different directions. Sorry about what was going to happen to you, Miss Aija. It feels cruel, but I plan on winning my game. To do that, I need to start taking enemy pieces. That was the only way I'd get a direct shot at the person I was playing against. Got another gold key. Aija. Now we know why the meeting in the park happened between quote-unquote Locke and Aija. Why the Duats were tasked with killing quote-unquote Locke, and why quote-unquote Locke was not actually Locke, but Secretary Yanni. Aija. Sweet, sweet Aija, what are you doing? My girl. Well, not really. To be honest, I likely couldn't stand her for more than 15 minutes. In a lot of ways, she embodies exactly what I hate. So true, I hate her, as I suspect that many others might. But I hope that those who throw spears at Aija do it for the right reasons and not the wrong ones. because there's a lot of stupid reasons why people might hate her. Like saying that her whole corruption scheme is taking away people's freedom. Freedom, at least the way people currently understand it, is a myth. There is no true freedom. After all, if you gave everybody true freedom, then the cunning and ambitious ones could use it to restrict the freedoms of others. And they would. They do. No, by its very nature, this idea of freedom for everyone can't exist. It's just a matter of who has the power of freedom in what ways. Please don't misunderstand me. You won't find a bigger proponent for freedom than me. Trust me on that, at least. I just see freedom for what it truly is. How it could be. Interesting. Very interesting. Laverna's chapter was arguably more productive. We've certainly seen the outcome of a rather interesting series of events, which we might experience next video with Vels' chapter 5. Since we know that either Vels or Devon, we know that Devon is setting up to try and kill Polly. We know that Vels was involved in some degree and fled the scene before the cops arrived. We know the aftermath of that attack based on Laverna's chapter 5. So, we get to see that play out? Suppose we'll find out next chapter. This was an interesting episode. Again, is this more like filled in the gaps than advanced the story, but it's still going in an interesting direction. Devon and Eris are still my 1 and 2 on my list. I don't know who's third. It's unclear what Laverna is after. Aside from the truth. I was like, no, she's looking into that one murder where, like, Seth's partner got murdered. By Seth. Oh, I forget whether it's Seth's partner or Baldera's, but the good cop got murdered. Possibly by the bad cop, Seth. Or likely by the bad cop, Seth. And Laverna's investigating that. She doesn't seem to have any personal stake in it, though. Locke is out to conquer Panthea, gain the power that he claims he doesn't want or need. Vels is Vels. Really wants to stop. Who really only wanted to keep to himself. And then that sort of transition to protecting Krish from falling into the hole that he fell into. The fight of fruitless revenge. I suppose currently Vels' story is mainly Duat focused, because Vels is out to stop the Duats from wanting Krish dead, so Krish's life can go back to normal. But Vels is also intertwined with Polly's story, quite vividly, which we might see in Vels' next chapter. Eris is kind of intertwined in all the stories. The police story. She's currently intertwined with the police story, the Daisma story, given that she just her chapter 4 was unlocking the phone, Polly's phone that Baldera gave Laverna in Laverna's chapter 5. Which included Polly's dirty little secrets. That Polly is a pretty terrible person himself. And I think the implication is that likely Polly is trying to do better, but Polly is still actively bit scummy. More than a bit scummy. It is fair to say. Mercury and Thane are obviously duat-focused. Quote-unquote Thane, fake Thane, is the closest duat-adjacent force, having fully infiltrated the duats. And Mercury is well on his way to infiltrating the duats, but is now also infiltrating Odin Daesma's old house that Odin might be currently in. He's also doing that with a duat senior officer. It's interesting how these factions tie together. Duat and Olimpo tied together there. Primarily duat adjacent. Devon is kind of intertwined with everything. He's taking orders from Olimpo, taking orders from Aija. I don't think he's not really duat adjacent, though. Yeah, Aija's kind of the outside power above the police force. So that's who Devon directly reports to, but Devon is also heavily Daesma adjacent, Olimpo adjacent. Interesting to see how the further we've gone and the more these characters have developed, the more intertwined their stories become with the major factions of this world. It's really intriguing. I'm really interested to see where these are going. This business is very much picking up here. Until next time. Until then, we'll unlock Vels' next silver lock and see what Vels has been up to. Will we see the fire at the Veronica Collins estate? Maybe. If not, what will we see that's Vels adjacent? Maybe we'll jump into Vels at the aftermath of that. I don't know. It could really pull a move where we jump into Vels' perspective in the aftermath of that, and we don't actually see the way it plays out until we play Devon's next chapter. It means that Devon failed again, which is going to have interesting implications to Devon's mental well-being and his relationship with Aija. We also have Aija's mental state at having witnessed the murder of who she thought was her blackmailer, but is actually her, essentially, underboss, secretary. Alright. It's time for us to sign off, though. Till next time, until then, thanks for watching.